This is a brief explanation of how to make a stool, or the legs for a stool, which are angled in, both from the front orientation and also from the right hand side. There's plenty of ways that you should be able to do this. This is one that I've found. It's not the easiest one, but or the most straightforward one, but it is a little bit of a workaround for it. So if we open up a new document and click on the front plane there, I'm going to draw a leg, and I want it to be inside this area here, not too close to it. I want the leg to start up here in this little quadrant, and it's going to be a 580 by 30 to begin with. Click OK, stop sketch, and there's the front profile. We can then go and extrude this 30 millimeters, so it's a 30 by 30 leg, and we're going to call this a new component. Again, with our naming conventions, it's a good thing to come over to the component and give it a meaningful name. And then from that front orientation, we're going to modify and move this, and I would like to move it, we'll put it on a 5-degree angle. Now, I'm not sure which axis we're working in there. We'll have to just play around. It's not that one, as you can see. It's that one there. And if you put it in the negative, it would tilt the other way. So let's start off by tilting it away from that working plane that we drew it in that quadrant there. I'm going to move over to the right hand view before clicking OK there, and I'm going to move it in that direction as well. And again, let's move it away from the working plane. And when we look at it, you can see it's slanting in from the front and also from the right hand side there. Click OK. And what we'll now need to do is, if you go to the front view there and you imagine putting a top on there to sit on, the top is going to be slightly angled and it's not going to sit flat on there. So we just need to shave that down so that it's parallel with the floor. The way that we'll do that is to create a rectangle. Make sure that we capture the position here. We don't want that leg to return to that straight position, so capture position. And I'm just going to, it's asking me which plane I want to work in. We'll work in that front plane there, and then just move up to the top here and zoom in a little bit. And just starting a little bit below that corner there, we're going to draw a little bit of a rectangle there and stop the sketch. Now what we'll actually do with this is extrude it, and rather than creating a solid shape, you notice the operation here is not join like two solid objects or create a new body. It's actually to cut through that. So when I click OK, anything that shape passes through, it will remove the material. So when I click OK, you can see it's made that top flat. We can then do the same to the bottom. So again, we take a rectangle, click in that front plane there, and just a little bit below that corner, and bring the box out around it. Stop sketch. Again, we'll go to our extrusion and bring that through. Click OK. Now notice what's happened there is it started in the middle of it there, which is not great. So I'm just going to go and do one more. We'll say create a rectangle in the front plane. We'll put that same thing in there. Click stop, and this time E for extrude, and we're going to go back that way. It's not ideal doing it in 2 stages, but as you can see, if we click in the right view, flat bottom, and if we look from the front view, flat bottom, flat top on both of those. So there's our leg done. Now we've got 1 of them. We need 4 of them. So I'm going to now go to my top view here. Actually, I'll stay in the isometric view, that home button, and we're going to create mirror. Let's select a component. It's going to be this one here, and then mirror plane. We want to select this one here, and that's created another leg. Now it's on the wrong side. We want this over the other side. So I can click OK now, go to my top view, and I just need to move it now. So if I go to modify, move, and click into that one there, I can drag that along so that they will roughly line up. I can move that into position there until it lines up. Just play around with those dimensions until those 2 squares line up. It looks like it there. And then what you'll need to do is work out how far apart do you want these legs at the top. So the distance between the legs up the top, what does that want to be? So for example, let's say we had a rail in there that was 200 millimeters separating them. We're going to put in there plus 200 millimeters and click OK. Return to home, and we just need 2 more now. So again, we're going to mirror them. So create a mirror, capture position, click on both of those, and then select the mirror plane again. This time it's going to be this one, and again, it hasn't turned out exactly the way that we want it, so we're just going to move those. Go into the top again, modify, move, click into both of those components, and then on that arrow there we can drag that across roughly in position. See, it's moving in 25 millimeter increments. I guess if we zoom in on that, the increments become less, and there we go. We can actually get that into position there. And we're going to again add 200 millimeters. 200 plus 80. Okay. And they should all now be evenly spaced.